We're just trying to kind of go through our calendar for 2023. We're getting ready to set it up, planning out the season, looking at potential hunts, looking at opportunities. We want to fill our calendar with some pretty good hunts. So we're going to go through what we do and how we use Insider, kind of go through and find those opportunity hunts. Maybe some of them are long-term strategies. Just kind of a real quick run through on how we're using Insider, how we look at our tag apps, all the things.
I consider short-term strategy anything in 3 to 5 year range. I know that sounds kind of long-term, but in the tag world, that's not long-term. The Wyomings, the Idahos, the Montanas, the Colorados, those are in my constant rotation of states that I try to really make sure I have 1 or 2 of those tags a year if I can pull that off.
Every year I'm looking to get 1 or possibly 2 draws. And so that's how I look at my overall strategy. I've got a couple states that I'm looking at, I'm just dumping points into every year. If I get a hunt there someday, great. The Utahs, the Arizonas, but I'm more looking at short term, what I'm gonna be hunting this season, and then in the next 3 to 5 years.
One of the things that you and I both have had to do, which is very painful, but if you're gonna play this game, it's an expensive game, right? This is not for the faint of heart, for cost.
You gotta have a very understanding wife.
You got to have an understanding wife, and you got to understand that this is a long-term investment. But you also have to understand, if you're going to play the game the way we play it, you're going to have to give some tags back.
Yeah.
There's going to be multiple times, taking this approach, you're going to have to turn in a $1,000 elk tag. It's painful, right? I think you've done it more than me.
Yep.
Because if you don't do this approach, you could end up with no tags. If you're a non-resident traveling, other than Colorado, you really could end up with no elk tags.
Yeah.
So I have guys that message me all the time saying, man, I'm going to try to draw New Mexico. And I'm like, awesome. I said, what else are you doing? Well, I'm just going to try New Mexico this year. I'm like, if you take that approach, you're going to be sitting on the bench.
I will rearrange my schedule if I happen to draw a New Mexico tag.
The most important thing is to hunt. If you don't hunt and all of a sudden you draw a number 10 archery tag, you're not prepared. You don't have the skill set to really go down there and have the best hunt of your life. But if you take a bunch of tags that maybe take less points, take less time, maybe you got to work a little harder, maybe there's more people, you're acquiring all those skills. So for the day when you do draw that number 10 tag, you're ready to go. But if you sit on the bench and the coach puts you in the game and you've never been in a practice, you've never played it down, your chances of being the star are not high, right?
You could have the best tag in the state and you may struggle. Well, that's what I always recommend. And what I do every year is I'm fortunate. We're both fortunate to live in a state where we can get elk tags.
We have a backup option all the time. We do,
all the time. But a lot of folks aren't that fortunate. You live in a state like Nevada, for example. It's way different. They don't just give out elk tags to residents in Nevada. So your strategy has to change a little bit. But I always recommend trying to grab at least a couple few over-the-counter tags, whatever states that are available. Now they're becoming harder and harder to get, especially for elk. But for mule deer, there's still plenty of opportunity tags out there. And then also trying to grab a sweet unit here and there. I don't tend to go for 10 to 15 point units. I would prefer more hunt opportunities. And a lot of these units, it feels like there's gonna be an older age class buck in there somewhere. It's just on us to find them. 3-4 point tags, everything beyond that, I feel like I want to burn those suckers and just get a good hunt in that state.
Guys, you don't have to be a rock star at math to take a 15 point unit and figure out how many of those you're going to draw in a lifetime.
Yeah, I drew Nevada a couple years ago. It was not a state on my radar. It was just going to throw points at it until, maybe when I'm 80, I drew an elk tag. The odds were stacked against me to draw this thing. And I drew it with 9 points. And so I dropped all my other elk opportunities to go for, obviously, you're going to do whatever it takes to fill that tag. And now, with my age and whatever, there's a 6 or 7 year wait time before you can even start applying for elk in Nevada. It's one of those deals. So it's the last time I will hunt elk in Nevada. I know that, so I won't be applying for it in the future. 'Tis the season for applications. Got to get these all locked in, and I love this time of year, man.
Yeah.
I just love it.